If you haven't watched the previous parts, go watch them right now. The links are pinned in the comments and in the description.
In the previous episode of growing food at home saved his life when everyone else starved we saw. And as it did, it took the shape of a hammer. But at this moment the guy heard some sound, so he whispered, asking Hyena if she'd heard something. No, I didn't hear anything. What sound? I seemed to hear something behind me. As he said this, the guy turned his head to take a look behind him, and as he did, what followed immediately after was a massive smack on his cheek. As a lot of blood splashed from his mouth, he may have lost some teeth too. Accompanied with a loud bang, he crushed heavily on the ground in an instant, letting go of his iron bat. Hyena, shocked, was momentarily speechless seeing this, and as she got her act together, she asked the guy what was wrong, but as the guy laid on the floor trembling all over and unable to respond, Hyona told him not to scare her. What was wrong in this moment? Han Feng's apartment door opened with a click, and as Hyena turned to look, she was met with a fire extinguisher. He shoots the visibly white gas in the fire extinguisher directly on Hyena's face. As soon as she turned around, white powdered gas was sprayed on her. She coughed out a little as she began to suffocate. Fortunately for her, the gas in the fire extinguisher stopped seconds after. Hyona took a couple steps back, and when she did, she started to cough loudly over and over and over again until she heard someone groaning in pain beside her. She turned her head slightly and was surprised with what she saw. Hyona's boyfriend, who was brutally beaten and shaking uncontrollably, turned out to be the guy she received help from earlier. All the food he managed to receive and buy from the other homeowners were taken away when his apartment was raided. Left with nothing to eat, he and Hyona targeted Han Feng, thinking he was an easy prey. However, the current situation they were in was totally something none of them expected. Hyona was in a daze at the moment, not knowing what to do when the guy with about a dozen of his teeth knocked out pleaded for her to save him. But Hyona just simply stared. Speechless, she had no idea what to do at that moment. After all, she thought what was required of her was to make Han Feng open his apartment door and he would have taken care of the rest. But at that very moment, suspicious hands reached for her from the shadows, and as the hands tried to grab hold of her, Hyona fearfully stepped backwards and fell on the ground with a loud thud. Han Feng narrowly missed her as he only managed to grab a few strands of her hair in his attempt. Hyona, on the other hand, got up in a split second and bolted like her life depended on it, and given the current situation it was she shouted for help as she ran as fast as her legs could carry her. Han Feng just stared at her in frustration. He was a bit angry at himself for his slip-up, and as Hyona's figure disappeared from the corridor seconds later, he was taken aback about how quick she was. Hyona's escape was even faster than a fire drill. The guy she left behind also tried to get on his feet, alarming Han Feng. He kicked the guy in the stomach who gave you permission.
If you liked this episode, then don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. The next episode of this manhwa will be released once this part reaches 1,000 views or 5 comments requesting the next part.
To get up who he asked. Mick raised his leg and was about to continue his assault when the guy started to vomit, pleading for him to wait. He should wait for a moment. Did Han Feng know who his father was? If you dare to touch me again, he said. Han Feng punched the guy in the face, cutting him off in the middle of his threats. Then he knocked him on his chin with an uppercut. You think you can threaten me in a time like this? I don't care who your dad is. After all, it's you I'm hitting, not him. The guy immediately raised his hand and again pleaded for Han Feng to wait. Wait a moment, big brother. I have no grudges against you. He was cut off again with another punch in the face. Mick spared him no words as he got on top of him and started punching him repeatedly. Realizing that MC was dead set on killing him, he asked why he was trying to kill him. Was his life so worthless in his eyes? Han Feng continued with his assault, and didn't even stop when flesh blood continued to drip from his raised fist. So when he eventually halted his actions, the guy's face was bloodied and beaten so badly that he could barely see or talk. His shaking body also intensified, but MC neither cared nor did he want it to stop. He grabbed the iron bat initially intended for him, and as he walked up to the guy, he started to cry, realizing that his permanent end was near. His last request was for MC to give him a reason. Why was he really doing this? MC said this through his clenched teeth, Stop pretending already. Without any hesitation in his movement or decision, he swung the iron bat directly on the guy's head, ending his life. His blood splattered on the cold floor and the scene was similar to the treatment MC received in his previous life. MC, breathing rapidly, commented that in his previous life did the guy ask why when he killed him suddenly when the adrenaline subsides and the realization of what he had done hit him. He covered his mouth in attempt not to vomit, but that was unsuccessful as seconds after he kneeled down on both knees and vomited all the content in his stomach. At this moment, he heard something behind him and as he turned to have a look, it was none other than his roommate, the evil king's true eye. Upon witnessing the scene in front of her, the girl just beat down, touched the pool of blood with her finger, and with an expressionless look, asked Han Feng if he needed any help. The scene shifts back inside Han Feng's apartment a while later, where he sat across from the girl who was busy eating. Han Feng felt uneasy as he contemplated. Thinking about the girl's behavior was such a horrendous scene, but she was not afraid at all. He thought in fact, it felt like it was nothing new to her. This girl is a little scary. It's better not to let her stay in my house. MC tried to convince her that people may come back for revenge at any time and she will be implicated if she stays in his apartment. Upon hearing this, she simply replied with an "oh," then continued with her drink. MC wanted to know if she agreed with his reasoning or not. After
If you liked this episode, then don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. The next episode of this manhwa will be released once this part reaches 1,000 views or 5 comments requesting the next part.
all, she was doing this for her own good. The girl just straight out rejected the idea and replied that she would rather stay. And this pissed Han Feng off greatly. As he gritted his teeth in frustration, he tried once more, reminding the girl that it was too dangerous to stay in his apartment. There was a high chance that they would die. The girl just placed the drink she was enjoying on the table in front of her and got up. She told MC not to worry because she is the evil king's true eye. She then turned to leave, commenting that the evil king's true eye's energy was running out, so she needed to go into hibernation. MC grabbed her arm and told her to wait a moment. She shouldn't keep trying to evade him with her immature remarks when he was talking to her about real issues. Her attention fell on her arm grabbed by MC, and as she stared back at him, she told MC that she promised to help him. She then grabbed her door handle and opened the room she'd been staying in. Whatever his inside changed Han Feng's expression to the look of absolute shock. Meanwhile, back at the underground parking lot, the crowd had queued up for their rations for the day, and among the crowd was none other than Hyona. Hyona waited patiently in line till it got to her turn, and as she received her rations, she stared at it in thoughts. She waited for her boyfriend all night, but he never came back. She was also wondering what exactly happened from her perspective. The guy was fine. Then he suddenly collapsed. Was it MC who did it? Did he set up a trap in advance? But what I care more about is, when MC opened his apartment door, there was a faint glow and a warm current in his apartment, indicating that he had something to generate electricity. Did he prepare for the snowstorm in advance? It is possible that he also prepared a lot of supplies. Damn it, damn you, bastard. He secretly made cold weather preparations without telling me and gave me unwanted garbage. I need to find time and a way as soon as possible to check the situation. At this bastard's home in thoughts, Hyona suddenly bumps into someone. On her way, the person turns in her direction and asks her to wait, and as Hyona turns around, he asks if she's alright. Hyona. At this moment at the underground parking lot, Hyona shielded her gaze from the blinding flashlight as the guy excitedly offered her a place to warm herself up with a couple people. And I have a Firpo in the lobby of Building 5, he said. Would you like to join us and warm yourself up? Upon hearing the question, Hyona thought of the guy being one of her many bootlockers and also probably had bad intentions, so she turned around and refused the offer on the spot. But thanks for the offer. Suddenly the guy grabbed her arm and told her to wait. Then deciding to offer her another enticing offer, he tried again, claiming he had a lot of food there as well. Just come to my house and stay with me for a few days and I will take care of you. He closed the remaining distance between them and whispered that Hyona should just think about it. She could live comfortably from this point forth if she comes with him. After all, I have always liked your type. Hearing this made Hyona feel creeped out and annoyed by him. The guy was just spouting nonsense endlessly with great effort. She freed her arm forcefully and loudly shouted for the guy to get lost. Who does he think she is? And who cares about your garbage food?
Hey, quick fact, 97% of you watching aren't subscribed. If you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button. It's free, helps the channel grow, and keeps you in the loop. Thanks for your support.